This is Elton Yasokawa from the Zen 自分育て。My work history. And now, I have always been very conscious of self-realizing. But one of the reasons I got into the habit of being conscious of it is because of how I have worked almost exclusively in what I like to do. When anyone does what we like to do for a living, we inevitably want to be able to do it better. We want to be able to do it faster. This leads us to observe other people's technique. We become to be always on the lookout for clues from all kinds of information, and we will always keep someone's antenna up for any hints. In my case, I can say that I have only worked at what I love, and as a result, it had become a habit. As of July 2024, I am 55 and 6 months old. I have my first part-time job in the spring of 1984 when I was 15 years old. That was exactly 40 years ago. The job was washing dishes at a chain restaurant. At that time, I was paid 380 yen, about $20 per 1 hour. And the first 3 months were apprenticeship. I was given 40 yen, 25 cents discount for the first 3 months. So the actual wage was 340 yen, about $2. I worked for 3 years and earned 1,020 yen, about $6.25. This was the reality of a high school student's part-time job 40 years ago. When I come home from high school, I would go home around 5 to 6 p.m. Then I would go to 3-hour part-time job because at that time 15-year-old students could only work until 10 p.m. Even though I worked 3-hour shifts from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. 5 days a week, I was only able to earn about 20,000 yen, about $125 a month. That part-time life changed abruptly in the summer. That same year, 1984, I was practicing backflips and other moves on the banks of the Yodo River in the summer heat. I was scouted by chance by a member of Toei's action team. Toei is one of Japan's top entertainment companies, including the film industry. He gave me his business card and said, "Come and watch us practice first." We parted ways that day with a friendly smile. Come to our practice. I thought he was a suspicious man, but I was curious. I decided to give it a try and visit him the following week for practice. At that time, the underground parking lot of an apartment building located between Shin Osaka and Nishinagashima Minamikata was practice field. It is unthinkable nowadays, but the practice was done in an underground parking lot with the permission of the condominium. The social freedom of the time was everywhere. This is a long story for another time. However, in September 1984, I officially joined the team. I joined practice twice a week, and also I was lucky. I was offered a job for 3 days from the end of December to the beginning of the New Year's holidays. It was at the Nakamuraza Theater in Kyoto's Uzumasa Film Village, Uzumasa Egamura, a place known only to those in the know. As I found out later, I was very lucky to be able to make a debut in only 3 months. There were many people who were scouted, practiced for a year, and could not make their debut. My first job was as a Hidora soldier in Dengeki Sentai Changeman, badass underling that light. The stage was Hero Show. I was fighter in Children Hero Show where I had to fight many battles, get defeated and come back to like to fight again and fight. Even so, my guarantee was paid 5,000 yen, about $31, for 2 shows a day. In just 3 days of work in total, I had earned more money than I had ever earned in 16 days of dishwashing a month at my previous job. I wondered, unbelievable. Don't people have more fun and make more money by playing to their strengths than by working for money? That was the moment when I was strongly imprinted with this idea. From then on, I would only engage in work that I liked or that allowed me to make the most of my qualities. In this way, I began to constantly keep my antennae up in order to raise my own paycheck. In high school, I just focused all my energy on what I want to do. While in high school, I worked hard on weekends and during spring, summer, and winter vacations at action shows. The stage locations were places where many children gathered, such as Hirakata Park, Hanshin Park, and skating rink in Nagaoka-kyo, which is no longer there. My high school life was more like that of a child actor than that of a normal student, and I actually missed about 50 days of high school a year. However, while I was selected for the very prestigious honor of making my debut after only 3 months of practice. The following year, during the summer vacation of 1985, I acted ungratefully and did not appear on stage even once. I had planned since the first year of high school to ride Mama bicycle, no-road type bicycle around Eastern Japan during the summer vacation of 1985, and it was impossible to accomplish this without using the entire summer vacation period. As it turned out, I actually completed the 5,500 kilometers around the Eastern Japan to Hokkaido from Osaka trip on Mama bicycle over periods of 33 days. Newspaper reporters were waiting for me when I returned home. My Silver Ring trip was published with photos in the Asahi Shimbun and Yomiuri Shimbun, Osaka Nichi-Nichi Shimbun, and other newspapers. I was living my high school life with all the freedom to do whatever I wanted. Naturally, I neglected my schoolwork. I could never go on to a normal university, even though I was doing such a thing. In the winter of my second years of high school, while I was serious performing action shows in my third year of high school, I seriously want to enter the world of expression. Already suddenly the professional world, I was okay, but I was only 18 years old, and with my advice of my teacher, I enrolled in film school. My film school days. I think it would be subtle to say that it is a film school and can be called higher education. It is now called Japanese Academy of Moving Image after I left that is. Even back then, a film school did not admit just anyone. There was a written test and an interview just in case. At that time, there was an interviewer who set my head on fire during the interview. It is funny to think about it now, but he has the director Shohei Imamura. Yes, the university was led by Shohei Imamura. Director Shohei Imamura positioned directly in the center of the interview desk. As the interview asked me in a query tone, "What do you want to make movies for?" It is not a real film unless it is based on a real passion that you have experienced and that have moved your emotion. A film is expression that conveys the message. A documentary that looks at people from a bird eye view. I am now filled with gratitude for the memory of director Shohei Imamura's spitting and blessing me. I'm 18 years old with so much passion. It was a moment that blew away my longing for the movies because I was so excited about them. It was a moment I realized that this is a world that cannot be handled half-heartedly. In this way, I was successfully accepted and enrolled in the school. I attended the school for 1 year, but my attitude toward my studies was not very praiseworthy. And my homeroom teacher at the time, Mr. Shunsaku Ikehata, recommended that I leave the school, which I did. I was bored and in pain in the classes that I attended. To go one step further, the idea of paying money to learn technique seems ridiculous to me, and I just didn't like it. Watching and learning and important to be observant and seamless, and there is always a tense atmosphere. However, learn these things in class was very circumscribed for me, who had been trained in actual practice, and I often felt like it was a duty to make the class seem more voluminous. For me, it was more efficient to absorb knowledge and skills by watching and learning while earning by putting in real work. What I gained from the film school, which I eventually left after 1 year, was Shohei Imamura's passion for film and Shunsaku Ikehata actually dumb but realistic eye for reality. After realizing their things, it was only natural for me too. After that, I will be striving to make a career out of what I am interested in. The work I have experienced since then. 1. Tour operator for tour trips. 2. Assistant director of a television production company. 3. Highway construction. 4. Recycle service. 5. Ski resort restaurant cook and dorm chief. 2 seasons. 6. Amateur sports photographer. Big tournaments such as volleyball, rugby, football, baseball, track and fields. 7. Commercial photo studio assistant. 8. Photograph shop, developing and enlarging photos. 9. Horse racing photographer. Keiba book, horse race magazine, Kyodo News, and Japan Central Racing Association, JRA. 10. Travel guide photographer and writer. 11. Fishing writer. 12. Event planning and management. So far, this is the work I have done as an active member of somewhere. In the meantime, backpacking around the world and cycling around Japan, living in Toronto, Canada on a working holiday visas. I sometimes worked as a full-time employer, but I didn't work there for long because I wanted to broaden my horizons. And the following is the work I tried to do as a business after getting the hang of it myself. 1. Natural stone distributor. 2. Accessory producer. 3. Lighting, including digital books. 4. Digital imaging. Capcom Biohazard Outbreak 1 and 2. 5. Store management and restaurant business. 6. Internet shop. 7. This YouTuber. I mentioned the last YouTuber because I was able to monetize it about 2 years ago. Now it is generating a small amount of income, another channel for Japanese. I have been engaged in many jobs like this. I think it looks unstable from the side, and even now, when other people ask me what I do for a living, I can't really say. I could have been a full-time employee several times, so I could have settled down and worked there. In fact, when I left any of the places I worked, I was always asked, "What are you going to do when you quit?" It's hard to run your own business. I was sometimes stopped by some employees. However, some of my jobs which were popular at the time now seem to be going by the wayside. For example, a travel agency that asked me to become an employee because they would let me get a national certification. A TV program production company that asked me to become an employee because the test was only a formality. A department store event business that generated several $100,000 in sales per day when it held its event. A horseless photographer who could travel all over Japan and the world. 5 newspaper and magazine reporters who sometimes received tips in addition to their salaries just for publishing articles. Also drastic decrease in print media. All of these have fallen to the ground and have an uncertain fortune in just 10 to 20 years or so. What we can see from this is that no job is stable. Even the jobs that are considered good now are the same. As you can see when you are fishing, no matter how great the field or how great the technique, it will not work someday. The environment changes, the wisdom of the fish improves, and nothing stays the same. It is truly impermanence. I learned that I have to keep adapting to the environment while maintaining a self-nurturing mindset when I thought about the consequences. I have not been unstable. I have just adapted to the flow of the times. Next session is scheduled to be on self-nurturing mindset. 全自分育て. Thank you. Listen. Poor English. I'm sorry, but I become good speaking. Thank you.